And I want to encourage people to don't do a press release on your schedule.
That's right.
Before you've actually done it,
That's
or even
we're
talking about a huge pet peeve.
Don't declare. People
Yeah.
always declare. A lot of big things are coming on the channel.
I'm always like, I have new videos coming out soon. Soon in the next 2 years. One of my favorite sessions from our recent Grow with Video Live conference was a time where we got to sit down with Tony, Omar, and Sean and go over what things are underrated and overrated on YouTube. We're going to be bringing that session to you today, and I want to welcome you to the Think Media Podcast, the #1 podcast to help you grow your influence on YouTube and then turn that influence into a high profit and a high impact online business. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new here, I want to encourage you to subscribe to the podcast wherever you're consuming this content. We post brand new episodes every single Tuesday, so make sure you're subscribed on YouTube or Apple or Spotify or wherever you like to listen to this type of content. Well, we're going to get into today's session where we're bringing you kind of an unfiltered version of the Think Media team. You get to learn a little more about Omar and Tony and Sean and really our takes on certain events and certain things and features about YouTube. And I threw in a couple things like their favorite cereal and other funny things. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode of the Think Media Podcast. Heather Torres here. I'm with the guys. I'm so excited. I'm with Omar, Tony, and Sean, and we're actually heading into a very fun segment. I've been looking forward to this one for the entire conference. We're heading into what we're calling the Think Battle Royale. Thank you. My husband's calling me right now while I'm on camera. That's right. I love you too, honey. So we're going to play the Think Battle Royale. Here's how you play. Okay.
Let us know.
There's no points. This is an open discussion to your own opinion. So take off your think hat.
I don't get points for my opinion?
No, you don't get points for your
Man.
opinion. Nope. So you can take off your think hat. You don't have to answer like think, okay? So you can just give a straight answer, which you normally would do anyways. But I'm just letting you know. And I'm going to be giving you some different categories, and then some will be related to YouTube and some will not. So we will get into it, and we will start with first, YouTube cards are dead. What do you think, Tony?
YouTube cards. I think, and you're referring to the cards that are on top that you go, hey, click the card. I'm going to say that YouTube cards are dead. I think they're dead. They kill your viewer retention. They pull the viewer out of the video. And it also, I don't know if anybody else has this experience on YouTube. I find them really annoying. Like I'm watching a video and it covers so much of the screen real estate when you're on a phone. I think they're completely dead. Stop using cards. That's what I'm going to say.
Ooh. But what do you do with videos that you already have cards on, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't go back and change or fix those. I think that they're maybe on life support. I don't know if they're actually dead. So I do these yoga stretching videos for my arms and my hands and for carpal tunnel. And there's this one girl that I watch, and she goes, hey, if you actually want to do my shoulder thing, I did a video about that. I'll link it. But here's what she says. She's like, I'll link it. I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to check that out, or the card. That doesn't bother me that she says that, and that education is important. And actually, after the video ends, I'm like, I do want to watch that next. Like in a practical, educating, utilitarian way, I think that is something to use. And if you do use them, so you don't kill retention, you could use them towards the end, maybe before the end card, because you still might be landing the plane for a while.
Your videos maybe.
I think it all comes back to do you click end cards? So Sean does click them. I personally have not clicked an end card. I haven't been convinced enough to leave the video
in your
that
life?
I've chosen.
You've never clicked an end card.
Okay, that was a false statement.
Okay,
I've never clicked an end card.
Here's the deal though. You said you will go back at the end of the video and click on the cards for the video, right? Is that what you're saying? Not the
I'm
end
saying
screen,
30 seconds left, and your end screen is in the last 20 seconds, and you know what the call to action would be. You could still put whatever that end screen call to action is at the 30-second point.
Well, yeah. Okay, so you're saying you put it on the card at the top, but here's the thing I thought you were saying is that you actually look at the cards from the video previously. I don't think viewers really know how to do that. You know how you click the little eye up there?
Oh, no, I'm
shows
not
all
saying
the cards.
that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm saying if you're going to use it, you could use it at the end of the video.
Oh, yeah, end card.
But here's the thing that kills the whole thing. is, as I think this year at Grow Video, we want you want to look at the data. And when you go into the data and you actually look at percentagely how many people take action on cards, 7 is high. And a lot of times it's like less than 1%. So what happens is people focus too much on these small things, and do they matter that much? They really don't.
For sure.
And they're either dead or barely on life support.
Yeah, and I think, again, I just think most people when they put them, they don't put them right. Like at the beginning of the video, they will go, "Oh, hey, I have another video on this. Actually, you can click the cart." It's just like you literally just set your video up to be tanked in the first 20 seconds to like divide the audience. Even if it's a little percent, I think it still kills the video.
All right, great job. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Do you use cards? Do you think they are? I like overrated, underrated. We can go that way. What about YouTube Shorts?
YouTube Shorts are underrated. Underrated for sure. We're talking about them this afternoon, and the supply is not meeting demand. Now, if you're in business, you got to really think about that statement. If there is more demand than there is supply, which there is right now, the amount of people that want to consume shorts is massive. It's like 105 billion views a month. There's more shorts views than views of regular videos right now. Now, that doesn't mean there's not without problems. The quality of the viewership, the audience, the demographic, but I think it would be irresponsible to ignore YouTube Shorts.
I agree with you. The only thing I would say that's overrated about shorts, in my mind, like people really put too much value on views on shorts. I don't think shorts views are the same as YouTube views.
Fact.
Like YouTube Shorts, when you're scrolling through something really quick, it's not like, I mean, it's almost like a very surface level first touch point, which I think shorts are good for. But people sometimes go, "Oh, I got 100,000 views on shorts," or like even on TikTok, 100,000 views. And it's like they didn't really translate to anything though. Like even though it's just a metric, it's kind of like
Tony,
you were saying earlier.
it did. It translated to vanity. Okay,
I know,
Come
exactly.
on.
That's what I'm saying. But you were saying earlier that like, you know, you can't cash in 100K silver play button. I feel that same way about views when it comes to shorts sometimes and TikTok if you don't do it smart. Like if you don't,
you've got to have a way. Where should they go next, or what is even the purpose of doing them? You know, like where are they going to go deeper? Because you get a short that pops off, and then what? You know, so where does it go from there?
Yeah, I mean, as someone who like really enjoys creating quality content, I am biased at this whole short form content revolution.
Yeah. Me too.
It's just like people doing a dance and getting 1 million views, and you're life changing. I guess you're life changing with 1 million views, but like, are you monetizing that dance or something? Like, I mean, I get it. I think it's understanding the intention. We talk about reverse engineering. Shorts should be. I would say that it should be your intent to be seen, and then that's why hopefully having something that connects them to something deeper. But I think at the end of the day, I follow YouTubers that know what they're doing, and I love their content because of what they're doing. One that comes to mind is Random Golf Club. This guy makes incredible films around playing golf, and they're just done at such a high level. I would hate for him to drop shorts, but but every time he drops a video and they're 30 minutes long, I'm on. Yeah. So you get to determine that. But like Sean said, supply and demand, we're throwing up shorts on Think Media.
Well, yeah, and I think it also depends like how much energy you're putting. Like for me, I think if you're doing it at the sacrifice of your VR video, I don't think that's worth it in my mind.
Dude,
what do you think, Sean?
I think hashtag Tony the Wise.
Wow.
That's a wise. Yeah, I mean, if it's stealing from your most significant impact, then it would be not a good use of your time.
For me, shorts is like another thing to do.
Sure.
Like that's what it feels like. And it's like, if you are steering away from the main thing, not being the main thing anymore, then it just becomes too much. And we're implementing shorts now with team. And actually most people that we see that are being successful with shorts have some type of team built around them or some type of system built around them to make that even possible without burning out.
Or it's a viral prank. But then again, those views don't really, those aren't valuable views in my mind.
Like the ones I'm watching are unvaluable to my life at all. They're just funny and the entertainment stuff, but I'm not clicking follow. I'm literally just swiping.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not actually making me it's not giving me an impact in my life. So I think it's a good one.
And we're going deep, by the way, stick around all day because I have a full 19 points on shorts this afternoon. So that's coming up.
And it's going to be in 20
9?
minutes?
Was that 9 points?
19 is the exact
19.
number of points I have
19.
on shorts this afternoon.
Here's a battle royale question. How long should a video be?
As short as possible, as long as necessary is like the easy cop-out answer. I'm a fan of 5 to 8 minutes right now.
Yeah.
5 to 8 minutes.
I would say the same way. I think length really matters, but pacing even matters more. I think like one of the things I always think about
Pacing.
is I will show one of my I have to probably drive my wife crazy with this, but I literally will show her videos and films that I'm working on, and that's will be my litmus test when she's watching it. And then I'm like, I feel cringe, or I feel a little like, oh, like this part's boring, this part's this.
Yeah.
That's how I know the video's too long. That's where I
You know
can
if
feel
somebody's watching something and they're like, okay, and then if it gets dull and they go, do they check
Yes,
in on
yep.
Well, as soon as you lose them,
Or when you're telling
pacing.
them a story and it's just disrespectful, but your
You're
story
like, I guess
sucks.
I need to work on my storytelling.
Your story's
Yeah.
Sorry. Got to be a good storyteller. And no, I think that's the thing. Like Omar said, when the person he's invested with, the golfer, you were invested in his content. He drops 30 minutes, you're into it. There's a podcaster I listen to. Her podcasts are 2 hours long. I listen to the whole thing
How'd
while
you
I'm getting
discover her?
ready. I was listening to Lisa Brevier. So a lot of their content will
Did you
be
have
longer.
pre-existing trust with her?
I did. Yeah, I read her
So
books.
there's
I
probably
was
not
like,
a lot of 2-hour things you're going to watch from a
No.
stranger that's not recommended
no,
to you.
no, for sure, definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, I get if a video is 5 minutes and I'm like, I could have got that in 3. I
Yeah.
don't click on that person again
Yeah.
because I'm like, you are wasting my time.
I think when you're starting, you should start with short content. And we talk about speed dating, and it's that the reason you go on speed dates is so you don't get trapped on a Friday night out with somebody where all of a sudden they're like, let's get gelato first. We'll walk in the park. Then we're going to watch the Lord of the Rings extended version. And I've got dessert planned after. And you're like, wait a minute. I just discovered I don't like your personality to start with. So speed dating first. And so if you challenge yourself to make 3, 4, 5 to 8 minute videos that are really valuable, because once you have trust, like sometimes maybe somebody sees one of our videos at 1.4 million views. I'm teaching for 45 minutes.
Crazy.
But
Yeah.
I've been working at this for 10 years. Like, built some trust, built up to that.
Yeah.
I think you should start with shorter videos.
All right, I'm gonna throw some rapid fire overrated underraters at you guys. You tell me what you think. Casey Neistat.
Properly rated.
properly. Yeah, I'd say properly rated. Yeah.
But dude, the dude,
Overrated.
Overrated.
like now or like
Yeah.
I mean, he's a if
a-
there was
yeah.
a Hall of Fame
Yeah,
of influence,
he's incredible.
In vlogging, especially.
He
Storyteller.
he paved the way.
Yeah.
This is just
Cool
it is
vibe,
it is a good
dad.
lesson on you can't be number one forever.
Surfer.
Yeah.
But he had his.
Well, he doesn't have to make
Unless you're
videos now,
Kanye.
and he's still Casey Neistat.
And he's
Still- he's still
and
Casey Neistat.
Now, when one drops, it blows up because
it's
it's
rare.
rare
Yep.
that it
Yeah.
happens now.
It's like that
Yeah.
Adele effect.
Yeah.
Adele doesn't put out albums for like 3, 4, 5 years on end, and when they drop, it's it's instant classic because we're waiting Kendrick Lamar too. Drop your
Hold on.
album.
Yeah. You can't say number one forever unless you're Kanye,
Come on.
right?
Just
Yeah,
Kanye.
yeah, just
Kanye's number
Kanye.
one.
Okay, all right, ready? Faceless channels.
Underrated.
Underrated. Super underrated.
I think more people should get started with faceless because you don't need a camera. If you had editing software, if you had the ability to record your audio on your smartphone, and you just don't want to get ready and you want to start producing content, you might be able to move quicker.
I think also it's just the idea, like, you know what faceless channels remind me of they remind me of niche Amazon affiliate sites. They remind me of understanding that there's an audience, there's a desire for content, there are people that want to watch something, and you build a business around it. So a niche Amazon affiliate site was like all things pets and dogs, and you would just like eventually link to tons of dog products. So you can make a faceless dog channel that's more you're business minded. You're like, I like dogs. I could get clips. I could get memes off TikTok. I could get a lot of dog stuff. And so I sometimes think that we put too much of the personal brand on a pedestal, and that faceless channels could be a huge opportunity that people could explore.
I think too. I would agree that overall they're underrated. I think that some people though think they're easy. Like they think
Right.
like I feel like for us sitting here knowing positioning, knowing video editing, knowing how to like lead people, or if we want to do that with a team and outsource those things, I think if someone's just starting, doesn't know video editing, doesn't know that stuff, doesn't understand pacing, doesn't understand positioning, it actually could be a huge mountain for them to climb.
I mean, just as hard, equally. There's no advantage necessarily over the personal brand. They get
Right.
overhyped in their simplicity.
Yes.
A lot of
people say they're
are
easy. Oh, it's
Yeah.
like it's cash cow. They call it this cash cow channel.
Cash cow.
Like turning this
Tony's
on around.
favorite thing.
Like I'm like
Well,
cash
and I
cow
was just
channel.
talking, I was just talking to
plants and cash
somebody
cows.
that spent $20,000 on a guru and spent another $3,000 on promotion and spends $900 a month to keep the thing running, and the channel's making $80 right now, and it was promised that it'd make a lot more. I'm into them, but I don't think nothing is easy.
Right.
Exactly, I agree.
Nothing is
That's-
easy.
that's-
Nothing
Yeah.
worth having comes easy.
Yeah.
Omar the Wise, hashtag.
Oh, okay. Here is a Captain Crunch.
Underrated.
Overrated, man. You eat that stuff, it rips the roof of your mouth up like razor
Overrated.
blades, dude.
Overrated. I think
Freaking-
cereal is overrated. I'm sorry.
I would
Oh,
say,
I'm
I
sorry.
would say so. I
I
agree.
think
I
cereal
agree.
is overrated.
I'm
There's nothing
literally with you on
nutritious.
that.
Like, God did not mean cereal for breakfast. He
My
did not
thing is-
create
is
it.
Manna. He
It's
made
not
manna.
even food.
My thing is the
Dissolves
nostalgic.
in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's nostalgia. That like,
Nostalgia is not food.
but
Man cannot live on nostalgia alone, Omar.
I do. I stay relishing in my past and all
I
the
know
things.
I'm gonna get some haterade, but you should be eating some like spinach and some green juice and like some real chicken that's like non-GMO.
Or intermittent
shit,
fasting.
like-
Don't have breakfast. Eat your first meal at 12.
There you go.
That's always an option.
Intermittent
Oh, yeah.
fasting is
That's
good
why.
too?
That's why cereal would be overrated.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I thought you
But if I
Okay,
have
good.
to eat
Just wanted to
cereal,
throw
my
that
mom
one out
only
there.
allowed me to have Kix because the first ingredient wasn't the sugar.
The corn syrup
Yeah.
or the.
Oh, we're learning so much
Red
about you
3.
guys. Netflix. Overrated or underrated?
Underrated.
Overrated. No, I think they're overrated. I think there's so much competition. I feel like people like sort of like, oh, Netflix. But what's happening is Netflix is actually losing a lot of their IP because these independent streaming platforms are happening. So
Are they
they're
losing their users?
How's
their stock price doing?
You know what? Honestly, I'm just talking about from a user standpoint. I'm not talking
See, I
about
don't even
like
care
an
about the user, 'cause
investment.
I don't even-
he's like, oh, you could optimize this even better.
I think it is personally. I'm like, there's nothing to watch.
No, but they lost freaking The Office. They're losing all these IPs, and it's making
It's an
them
IP
way
war.
overrated. Yeah, it is. Literally, it is. And they're overrated. Now we got to have Peacock for The Office. You got to have like all these
HBO
things.
I have
Max.
so many subscriptions.
Me-
Let me
yeah,
know.
me too.
Do
Amazon
you have like
Prime.
a billion every subscription? Every time Sean comes
Inside
up
of
with a new
Amazon.
show, we'll show up a meeting. He's like, guys, I watched this show.
We
We're
pay
like,
for
what is it on?
AMC
He's like, it's on this
something.
other weird
Discovery
platform.
Plus. When did that
Discovery
drop?
Plus.
When
Oh
did
yeah, like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I signed up. It was free for a month, but now I'm locked in.
Apple TV
Yeah.
Plus.
ESPN
Apple TV.
Plus. Like it's just
Yes.
all the pluses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, here's this one. Overrated gear. Overrated or underrated gear?
like camera gear?
Camera gear.
Overrated.
I would agree. It's overrated.
Like, use a window. Prop your phone. Like, make a video.
I think gear is properly rated.
Oh, properly. Okay.
I think it's properly rated. I think it matters. It doesn't matter as much as you think it does, but you don't also want to disrespect the gear. And I'm excited because Omar is going to be focusing so much on like smartphone because like smartphone's expensive. Like,
Yeah.
a good smartphone's
But
expensive.
people are making that purchase almost every year or doing like,
and it's
you know.
and so it's smart to get a good smartphone if you're
For
going to
sure.
use it for that purpose, or to get 2 smartphones, use your last year for a camera or whatever, and then to get the gear necessary for it. But yeah, it's definitely overhyped that you need something. People are overspending on gear when they could be. I think you need to spend on gear. We studied in that first session that the average content entrepreneur is spending $10,000 to get their
Crazy.
career started on gear and coaching and information. But where you put that, some people just completely spend it all on the camera when lenses,
Lenses.
Boom.
Lighting.
lighting,
Audio.
software, a
Your
video editing
backdrop,
computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think about gear a lot as like almost like a painter. They're paintbrushes, right? It's like you still have to know how to paint. Like I almost feel like you need to invest in learning how to paint, learning how
Sure.
to make a good video before you like invest in a ton of gear.
But as Leonardo da Vinci said,
yeah, okay, okay.
he said,
this is amazing.
No, I don't know.
Oh, I
but
was
he
like,
probably,
dude, that's incredible.
but he probably
He probably
he
said.
probably cared about his brushes.
Yes.
So like they are your tools.
They are important.
Dude, I can't wait for the Battle Station series for the new Battle Station
it's
we
gonna be
built
so
with
good.
Kyle.
Oh my God,
And I mean,
yeah.
those tools, the details matter. Like I really care. Like I feel like I am Luke Skywalker in an X-wing.
But you know how to paint. That's what I'm saying. He's like, you know how to paint, so those
Thank you,
purchases
Tony.
actually like upgrade you significantly.
appreciate that.
You drop that full battle station on someone who doesn't know what's going on.
And
they're
you
like,
know-
yeah.
And it's not about your resources, it's about your
Love it. Let's
Resourcefulness.
go.
Yes.
And from being faithful in the season when I had the Canon HV30 and when eventually I scrimped to get the Canon 7D, not 70D, 7D back in 2009 and 10, in every season I learned how to paint.
Yes.
Now you give me a brush.
You get better. Yep.
And you get a
And you know your
masterpiece.
strokes.
Come on.
no.
Wow.
Okay, we're good.
All right.
All
This
right.
is how we make up.
But no,
yeah.
yeah. Sean alluded to like when Kyle built out his Washington setup. This is the first time Sean was now live streaming with 2 angles, and he was able to just to do it naturally. It was like natural with him. I think back to it. I think you just got to know where you're at and know what you want.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times people, ask me, they want everything, but like, is it really just a shot that you need? Because it probably is just like a simple setup. That's why I think gear a lot of times when I get in arguments with Kyle because I'm like, dude, we got it, we're good, and he's like, nah, bro, we need a $2,000 slider.
No, we need the slider. Or what did I call it? I called it the glider.
The glider.
I was like, oh, the cool glide
No,
thing.
it'll make our life
they
easier
were
for
so
sure.
mad at me.
Dude, listen to
'cause I
Michael.
called it
Listen
the
to
slider.
Michael. He said, just because you can drive a car doesn't mean you can fly a plane.
Come
Oh,
on.
that's it. That's the
Michael.
quote.
Yes.
Savage.
That's a good one. All
That's a
right.
good one.
How about this one? Tags. YouTube tags.
Underrated. Nobody's using them properly still.
I think they're overrated. YouTube has come out and said that they're not really a big deal. I think they're a big deal when you're starting out to give you clarity on the keywords you're going for. So, but I think overall they're probably overrated right now.
I
think
I
it's just
say
starting out.
underrated just because like I think if you don't know how those work,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't like people are still posting if they have a video they're showing you how to cook a vegan meal. They're like food, network, eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't get it yet.
Omar, I agree with Omar. I think they're misunderstood.
Yeah, that's right, it
That's
is.
actually really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Because
I agree with that.
they're overrated to the person who thinks they're magical keyword things, the fairy dust that are going to grow their video. But if you don't understand how to think, if you don't understand how to think and you're typing food in your tags, you weren't even making the right video because it should be best method for cooking falafels with organic ingredients. That should literally be the tag phrase,
Right.
the keyword phrase, because you put that much thought into building your video. Next one.
That's awesome. Hey, I want to hear some from the audience. So if you've got one that you'd like to ask us,
Ooh, hot takes.
overrated or underrated,
There's
hot
code outrage.
takes on the thing.
We have,
We have
we
a
have
code
code
outrage
There's code
happening.
outrage right now.
Code outrage right now?
Like
Okay.
just saying code wrong, code wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, stop posting
here's
codes
one.
in the comments.
What is your hot take on Garyvee? He's one of our headlining speakers for Growth Video Live 2022.
Garyvee is underrated.
Okay, why?
I mean, I think that on the one hand, Garyvee, for people that have followed him for a while, they might be like, oh, I've heard him. He says a lot of the same inspirational stuff and whatnot. But I think what people don't understand is the depth and real experience his entrepreneur wisdom comes from. There's a lot of people that just spew hype, but with an 1,000-person company that helps people with social media, social video, with having built and sold multiple different companies, and with being, the New York Times best. When you see the execution of what he's done as an entrepreneur and really the practical wisdom, and I think why I'm so excited about having Gary V at Growth Video Live 2022 is he so has his finger on the pulse of the now. Yeah. Well, what am I going to learn from him, today? No, he will be coming in with fresh inspiration that happened that week from his companies, from the front lines, from the campaign they just run, from the social video they were doing. So he's just a real one that's in the trenches. And then, of course, I've got a major affinity for him just because of his impact on our company and my personal life. So yeah, I think he's underrated, and I'm so grateful that he's speaking at our conference next year.
No, yeah, I think I find it crazy that like oftentimes, you'll meet somebody who's starting the journey of posting content or the social media journey mixed in with their business. And like there is like this assumption that you know who Garyvee is and that nobody still knows Garyvee. There's still a lot of people that don't know who he is, and he's not giving up, there is so much power in saying the same thing. If you think he's saying the same thing, he's doing his job, because we always talk like it's actually when you get sick of it is when it's actually resonating. And so I commend his position and the stance he's taking in culture more than anything else. And no, dude, it's crazy that he's coming.
I got a couple rapid fire from the
Oh,
audience
all right,
here,
let's do
and I
it.
want to hit.
Rapid.
I'll ask one person
he's
for one
underrated, by the way.
person, one answer.
Okay.
Is B-roll overrated or underrated, Omar?
It's underrated.
Completely under.
Make B-roll happen.
Yeah, literally.
And that's going to
Please.
boost audience attention.
Yeah,
Audience
I'm talking
attention.
about that in the later too as well. Keep them.
All right. How about asking people to subscribe or like the video, Heather?
I think it's underrated because people need to know what to do next. When I think about maybe different demographics and age groups, they actually need to know that that's how they see more videos. A lot of people are on YouTube but actually don't know how to use YouTube.
I think demographics come into play.
That's the
there.
demographics,
Really, yeah, 'cause
But
I
I
was
feel
gonna
like
say,
if you,
I felt-
but depending on your demographic, I'm speaking to maybe the
Because
older
I think
demographic.
I think you go Gen Z, and I think
Gen
they're-
Z, they already
completely
no,
overrated.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I think you literally, again, grenade, especially if you're standing at the front. It's like, oh, hey, welcome. Hey, I'm Tony. Also, can you subscribe? And then can you like? And then also, don't forget to leave a comment. Like, I've seen videos
make sure you
that.
keep your like notification bells.
on. Yeah, like, and it's like a whole like 40-second. It's just white noise.
Yeah, it becomes robotic.
Yeah, like I just think, like people just starting out, I don't think they have to worry about that or focus a ton of energy on it when they're starting.
And it doesn't influence me, and I'm not
Yep.
representative of every people.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
once
we're
I see
so
the
deep.
quality of the content,
Yeah.
once I see,
Yeah.
like even if I hear it, I'm like, well, I'm not going to subscribe because you told me to.
Right.
I'm going to see what I'm experiencing on the channel. And if they don't say anything, I'm like, dude, I'm vibing with this video.
Yeah.
You know what I actually love when people place it? I love when people place it at the end of their video.
That's the place
Yeah,
to place
I
it.
think
Literally,
so too.
because
Not
I-
at the
'cause you
beginning.
If
for
you
it.
even make it there,
Yeah, that's what
then
I'm
that's
saying.
the time you've built that relationship, and it's after the value.
Yeah.
Hey,
or
this
whatever.
video was helpful. Like,
I feel
you wanna
that.
subscribe.
I would say in my world, I feel like it's properly rated in the sense that it takes a moment to say, if just take a moment, and then the reality that like I literally lost my train.
Okay.
And as I deeply unpack,
Dude, Theodore Roosevelt, bro.
next. Lead us to the next one, Heather.
Goodness. Wow. Okay.
Oh no, yeah, it's that.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. We're back.
I watch a lot of YouTube on my television, and there's not.
can't.
It's not like an intuitive like
Yeah.
subscribe thing. You can't look at
Good
comments.
call.
You can't look at description. But YouTube is serving me people that I would watch a video on, and then they're serving me another one of their videos. Sometimes I click on it, and then they serve me more of their videos
Because of consumption.
So that's
Wow.
why I feel like it is
Yeah.
properly rated in the sense that like if you never subscribe to a person, you will get hit with them
Yes.
if you sat on their video and you
Yeah.
watched it through.
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Thank
And
you,
I
Lord.
think clicking subscribe, when I think about like my parents, they don't subscribe to like anyone. Maybe they have like, they've subscribed to like 5 channels. I'm subscribed to like 5,000 channels, right? So the difference of even demographically who you're going after, I think that a lot of people who are getting started maybe in their legacy years, or they have been in a career and they're starting to teach that career, they're hitting a demographic that it's not intuitive for that to be a thing. And they're not watching it yet on their TVs. We're so deep that we're like, of course YouTube on your TV, you know?
And I think that's one of the ones we have on our list for the show is, are subscribers overrated or
Yeah.
underrated? I think subscribers are overrated.
Yep.
Now, they are a
Yep.
baseline, potentially, and you do want to build them because the video goes out and is distributed. But to your point, click-through rate and average view duration is what matters. And I'm watching videos on my smartphone, smart TV as well. When you consume a video, your parents, my parents now, who have YouTubers that they're watching, they're just waiting for the algorithm to keep feeding them that same
Right.
creator.
Right.
And so more unsubscribed channels might be being fed your videos, where your actual subscribers may have just tuned out. They don't log into YouTube anymore. And depending on how long you've been on the platform, dated subscribers could actually be a hindrance, or subscribers can hurt your channel if you've pivoted your niche or your brand, because
Yeah.
now they're not clicking on your videos, killing it.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you, and I think the underrated stat that's compared, like opposite of that, is the average video per viewer. I think is the stat where how many videos does a viewer watch on your channel on average. That's the stat I care
Sure.
more about necessarily than even just the overall subscriber amount.
Strong.
So
Strong.
good. Okay, what about an upload schedule? What's your take on that?
I think it's overrated. Just post videos. Like, if you need the schedule to keep you consistent, awesome. But I think we start dwelling on like the time of the day,
Yeah.
this, that, and the other, dude, just post videos.
You're right. Like exactly. People go, okay, I have 3 in the can. Should I post all 3 this week, or should I spread them out over 3 weeks? Or I know I'm going to go on vacation, and I'm like, I don't know. Just post them all. Like, post as many videos as you can when you can. But then if I said I'm going to do every Tuesday, and I did 3 Tuesdays in a row. But
This
if I
is
don't do
good.
the 4th Tuesday,
Yeah, this is so paralyzing.
no. Honestly, probably no one's going to care as much as you think. What you are also looking for yesterday. We were talking about videos 10 years old that just grew the channel 6,000 views, 6 subscribers, $25, 66 new subscribers on the Asus monitor video. What does that tell me? It tells me that in a way, it kind of doesn't matter when the video is uploaded.
Yeah.
It matters that it keeps getting watched, and it matters about just building a library that people can access on demand. So, of course, post it at like a smart time of the day, not in the weird middle of the night when probably your demographic location audience is asleep. But once that video takes off life following the 7R framework, it can just keep working for you. And you never look back and think, when did I upload that? Like, that's not what matters. What matters is it's getting real-time views today.
Yeah, I think the only time it matters, to be honest with you, is when it's like a regular show.
Like a live show.
Like if it's a
like
show,
yeah.
like I think about even uploads that aren't even necessarily live. Like for example, like I follow Corridor Crew. I know every Saturday morning they're dropping a CGI artist reacts, and I'm gonna watch it almost every Saturday. And I know or Hot Ones comes out, and I'm like, oh, I want to watch that show. Like, and that's at a certain time. That's when I say it would matter.
And another thing too is I watch this channel called Eamon and Beck. They're a lifestyle channel, and they missed like 3 weeks. And they just posted on the community tab like, hey, we're just taking a break. And their community was so supportive of it. And they were like, wow, this is the first time we've ever taken a break. And just thinking about like, don't let your upload schedule control your life. Like take breaks. Like it's, you know,
I also say
this is YouTube, but this is not, this is not everything.
And I want to encourage
life.
to people too, like, don't do a press release on your schedule.
That's right.
Before you've like actually done it,
That's
or
a
even
pet
like
peeve.
Yeah.
that's like a huge pet peeve. Like,
Don't declare. People always declare. A lot
I
of
do
big
it
things
all
are
the
coming
time.
on the
I'm
channel.
always like, I have new videos coming out soon in the next 2 years.
A lot, like don't say anything. Just do it. And people won't even necessarily even know. They're not paying attention. They're like, oh, you do? Let me put that on my calendar. Like let's just put it out when it's out. When like the apple pie is ready, then it's ready.
It's ready. It's
like,
delicious.
every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
I will be posting
you do
a
not.
video.
Yeah,
Like, don't do that.
We had someone ask. They were like, "I'm going on vacation." Go on vacation.
That's great.
Then that's
Yeah.
great.
Well, what if I don't post? Then don't.
Then don't.
Post when you get back.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's not hard and fast. Okay, Joe Rogan podcast, YouTube
Wait, Spotify now.
I mean,
or Spotify, but I mean,
properly.
I'm sorry, Joe Rogan
Underrated.
clips on YouTube.
Underrated.
Okay.
Or properly rated. That's the model.
think people are sleeping on it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the model. Is the power of starting a video podcast is number one. You can put it on YouTube and Spotify and everywhere else, and it can be search based on YouTube, and it can be long form and build that depth. But then number two is that out of that podcast, if you're talking about topical moments and topical ideas, which he does, so he's consistently creating content in the video podcast to the show point, talking about what just happened in news, and people care about his opinion, so it's headline after headline after headline on the clip show. That gives you massive opportunity for exposure. So start a 20-minute video podcast and cut 2 to 3 clips out of it and even upload them on the same channel or use them for micro content. That's the model.
Yeah, I think the model is definitely underrated. I think I would just say personally, I think his opinion's overrated. People are like, oh, he's like Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan saying like,
Yeah.
is he qualified with anything that makes sense? Yeah.
Dude, he is qualified. Fear factor.
Yeah. Okay, fear
Joe
factor.
Rogan
Got
forgets.
it. Fear in life. Okay. But you're right. I think it's underrated. One thing I do like about it is when we do our podcast, we're sitting like side by side. It's definitely more high on the higher produced side. We've got nice gear. Joe Rogan's like sitting in a t-shirt. They're not even, the camera is like a fly on the wall feeling. And I think that's actually underrated. The idea that it doesn't have to feel overly produced, like just turn the camera on. We were just talking to Ray Edwards in the Ultimate group, and you're like, you're already doing the podcast, just flip a camera on.
And I feel a little tension on that one because, again, Joe Rogan's 10 years into this comedy career,
Yeah,
fear
influence
factor.
first, yep.
Some people see that and they want to imitate what he's doing now at their beginning. And so when you're just having conversations casually and you're not getting to the point, you have 2 to 3 hour conversations and you're not getting Kanye West
Right.
on your show.
Elon Musk.
And Elon Musk. Then you might want to be brief, be bright, be fun, and be done until people would actually care to listen to longer, kind of chill, relaxed talk
You think
content.
about Fear Factor, it's like that was such like a quick pace show. It was like that's where his influence really.
And so it is a cool
started.
model, but I think it'd be a tough model to grow if nobody knows you, unless you just are unpacking. And if it takes a ton of time to get to the wisdom, like, or what it even is, like, I don't know, it'd be tough.
Yeah, we don't go into our shows just, what are we going to talk about today? Like with some headlines. We are like structuring shows, thinking about the topic, thinking about where does this fit in the content structure. Like we're still planning a ton, where I think that after you've built influence, you can't just come and sit on a couch and just start talking
and for
about
what
a
it's
topic.
worth, I think we have some influence, but I'm actually operating as if we have none.
Yeah.
I'm assuming people don't know us. I'm assuming we haven't started. I'm assuming nobody knows our podcast yet. I'm assuming we don't have trust. We are not Joe Rogan. And I hope, for what it's worth, I hope that like you kind of have that always beginner mentality. A, to maybe stay anchored in humility, but B, to say, maybe I hope. In fact, I'm really vibing on this. Like I actually like this
Yeah.
should be like a show.
I know,
Yeah.
legit,
And maybe
yeah.
we're ready now.
Yeah.
But we weren't 2 years
But
ago.
we're 6 years into
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And like maybe this could come out now and people will be interested. Let us know. Like,
Yeah.
could we put this, a show, conversations
Fun.
like this? But how do we get here? Search-based titles, like delivering value, like pre-planning it, like really putting in the work, so that hopefully you would even be at this event, Grow with Video Live.
Yeah.
Let us know.
And I think, but shout out to Sean I think Sean grew so much as an interviewer. He grew in a way that he knew what he wanted to pull out of people. I think some people start podcasts and you think people care about what you think, but then you got guests on your show and then you're like still talking over your guests, but you're not growing as an interviewer. And I think that's one way like video influencers was grown was Sean knew who he was interviewing. He pre-planned the questions in advance, came up with the hook because of that, but just like he controlled the interview, but allowed the person to share. I think there's wisdom in that. I think Joe Rogan knew that, over time he'd become Joe Rogan, the podcast, but he was so good at having a conversation and facilitating that.
He is.
Yeah.
He is, and he goes there. He knows. He unpacks things. He creates an environment. There's nuances.
All right, pull one from there. I'm going to ask some off-topic ones because I need your opinion on this. Green juice.
Underrated.
Okay.
I mean, health benefits. We were just talking here though about Uber Greens, and everyone like John Nacarado was like, "I'm just gonna finish this. This is awful." And Cammie was like, "What is in this? Is this the green?
get me to taste it.
Is this the
Taste it
green
out there.
chard?" And I go, "I drink that every day, Cammie. That's my favorite beverage."
Yeah.
I feel like I think of green juice the same way I think about cleanses. I feel like they're overrated. But again, I'm not.
You know
I'm
what's
not a
funny,
green
though,
Juice. Like
is
cleanse
green
like, oh,
juice- it's
cleanse
a
my
big
body. You're not
scam.
healthy after
I
a
see
week
all the-
like, of just
Dude.
cleansing your body.
A lot of green juices got 55 grams of sugar in them.
They do.
No way.
Oh yeah,
They
like
do.
so, and you love those ones.
Yeah.
You're like, I will drink
I'm
this
telling
every
you, you would
morning.
love those. But like
right.
that's the
Last one. Think
right.
media.
Think Media is underrated.
Underrated.
Bro, nobody knows who Think Media
yeah.
is, dude.
I think we're just getting started,
Just
man.
getting started.
I think that I think we still have a lot to learn. I think we're still
For sure.
We have a forever beginner mentality, a forever student mentality, and I think that'll help us continue to win. But I mean, like what's kind of crazy is this year is crazy. This year's Grow a Video. But I was even just talking to John, like we haven't even had Omar doing 2 a week, Nolan doing 2 a week for very long. We haven't been in this era for very long. The Think Media podcast is not that old. Your YouTube Made Simple show just got a logo. Coffee with Cannell show got a logo last week. I mean, we're still like, just trying to build and so I think about just different people, whoever you look up to or whatever. A lot of times when people really built something, you're discovering them at like year 15 or year 20 or year 10. And Think Media is about 5 years old, and then my journey was about 5 years before that. And so, what's 5 years from now look like? I don't even know, man. It's going to be crazy.
Kind of crazy. I say underrated in the sense, number one, because of our positioning, but I would also say like the channel itself is underrated because a lot of people find us because they had a problem, and then maybe they subscribe, but oftentimes I get the question, a question on my DMs or somewhere else, and we have a video on that, and I think not too many people know how much is on Think Media, and that you can use this as an
Right
archive,
now.
as
It's
a
right
library of videos, search in the thing. But I think that underrates us because not too many people built a library of a YouTube channel so that it could serve a people more than just one video.
And I would say too, like we're underrated in the sense of like people who consume a lot of content but don't actually post. They consume more than they create. Might even look at us and go, "Oh, you're overrated." But it's because you just consume everything. Sure. You just literally consume everything, all these different voices. You're not actually creating. I think for actual creators, we're still even underrated for those people. It's just like we are people that like prioritize action, constant learner, like you said, beginner mentality, and I think that we just are just getting started on what we're gonna do. We have so many dreams of things we want to get into. So
Yeah, we have big things coming. Someone said, you guys are like Think University. Yes, a free university. Who would have thought, right? All right, thank you guys so much. That was awesome.
That was fun. That's fun. Super fun.
I feel a show in the future for sure because that was a super fun one. Well, that was a ton of fun, and I'm so excited we got to bring that episode to you. If you're watching on YouTube right now, actually let us know, what are your takes on the things that we talked about, the different topics that were discussed during that episode. I'd love to know if you think it's overrated or Underrated. And that was a session from Grow with Video Live. And I am excited to tell you that we have locked the dates for Grow with Video Live 2022. And yes, it's going to be in person this year in Las Vegas. So if you want more information about Grow with Video Live 2022 happening in May, you can go to growwithvideolive.com right now to get all the details and the best pricing for this conference. Well, I want to thank you for those who have left a review on our podcast over on Apple. It means so much to us to be able to read these reviews and get to hear from you and get to see how this podcast is actually impacting your YouTube channels and your businesses. And today's podcast reading podcast review comes from Athena. She says, by following the tips shared on this podcast, I've improved my skills and have grown my YouTube channel 6 times faster than ever before. Oh my goodness, Athena, 6 times faster. That is amazing. Thank you so much for being a part of the Think Media community and for being someone who was willing to leave a review and let us know how this podcast is helping you. If you want to share this podcast with a friend, all you have to do right now is take a screenshot on your phone, share it on social media, and tag us at Official Think Media. And I'd love to be able to reshare that with our community. Well, that's all for today's episode, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.